intro with the hummus, the French onion dip, because you got that in it. All right, I think we've begun. Are we live yet?
Now.
Beautiful, Sam. That's how we begin our shows. Nice and formal.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is going on? Because you're fucking yelling, bro. Yeah. Well, now we're live. So I'm Dom. For those who are tuning in, you probably know because it's my channel. Jarran is the person who makes all of the music for the channel in the videos that you hear. Videos that you see, it's the music that you hear. And this is Sam Carter. He's our guest for the week, a longtime practitioner of parkour from Victoria, good friend of mine. How long have we been friends, Sam?
Probably just over 10 years.
Shit.
Well, I don't know if we were friends then, but I met you then.
We've known each other for that amount of time, for sure.
No one liked Dom 10 years ago.
No, second time I met him, he just slapped me lots. So I had like a cast on my ankle and he just kept, I was like 13 years old, man. Jeez.
That's what everyone else is doing. And like, I'm really good at following peer pressure.
Yeah. That's right. I remember returning the favor with one day.
Yes. We'll definitely cover that. We'll definitely cover that ground because your slap wasn't like a real slap. That was a misaimed hand or palm. So yeah, we usually start the show with what we've been up to for the last 24 hours.
I'll go first because I got
Jarran.
nothing. I've literally like slept about 16 out of the last 24 hours. Slept all day. I'm gonna go get a blood test. Fuck that shit.
Oh wow, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad that.
Yeah, it was pretty restful sleep though. Like I did all my exercise, but didn't do much else.
Do you think it was because of winter, or do you think it was because of some like chemical imbalance or some sort of like, you didn't eat the right nutritional value thing?
Maybe I'm turning into a boomer.
Fair.
Maybe that.
And that's it with Jarran Zen. He's on. It's all downhill from here with Jarran Zen.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's it for you then. That was awesome, bro. Thanks for filling heaps of time for people there. Sam, what did the last 24 hours of your lockdown life consist of?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? 24 hours.
Wait, are you in
lockdown? So last night.
I went to bed early last night, and then I got up at 6 and went to work. And then came home and filled out a form, and yeah.
All right, so you still get to go to work. What form did you fill out
if it's not like too
personal?
Just a exemption form for COVID,
Are you
like,
want to travel?
I'm allowed to be doing stuff
because I gotta be able to drive to work and stuff, so
oh shit.
Yeah.
Are you in a lockdown area?
Well, all of Melbourne is
really?
In stage 4. So we have curfew from 8, so I now officially can't leave my house.
That's why we started at this time today. Sam's locked up.
Yeah, and you can like not do much, or you can go exercise like an hour a day. But yeah, I get to work because, yeah.
What do you do for work?
I do metal fabrication at the moment.
Oh, that's pretty savvy. What does that entail? Do you like take the compounds from the soil and build the metals?
No. Pretty much just like making things and like pipe work and stuff for a factory.
So bending pipes and shit?
Not so much bending them, but putting them together and making all the attachments that
you weld?
Hold them to the ceiling and everything. No, I'm just a laboring hand at the minute, so I'm doing everything but welding. Basically.
So you're just
so
carry
manly.
The metal around.
Lots of carrying of metal, yeah.
I'm a metal carrier by trade.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
It's good to stay busy, long hours at the moment, and I don't like live with anyone at the minute until lockdown's over, and then Danny will move in. So it's good to keep me busy in this really quiet 6 weeks.
Is that how long
I think
lockdown's lasting?
Yeah, so there's like 3 more weeks to go.
Yeah, unless shit goes haywire.
Yeah, but it's been really good though. They've gone down like maybe 600 or so numbers a day.
Yeah, my sister's in Melbourne and she keeps posting like little stories of the people who are getting like caught out, and they're like, yeah, I was just out getting a pie. I was just out, and there's like one where 3 men and 2 women were caught drinking at a house, and they're like, yeah, because we're idiots. Like that was
yeah. A guy drove 32 kilometers to get his favorite butter chicken. It's like, yeah, you're not allowed to go more than 5 kilometers for food.
So yeah, maybe
like,
just
unless you obviously can't.
Maybe just quickly for those who aren't like up to scratch on what exactly the laws are there in Melbourne, maybe explain just a breakdown of like the things. I mean, you're going through, you have to be home by 8, you got your curfew, an hour of exercise a day, can't go 5 kilometers away. Is there anything else that you have to adhere to?
Well, all your you got to be wearing a mask all the time when you're outside.
Do you have a sick
mask? I've got a black mask. Shout out to Steph Neo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's
what's up with that?
I actually have 2 because you know I've got more masks around as well.
Hygiene,
and because I work with metal, it's like flicking metal filings and shit into it all day. So then,
and you're not allowed to touch it.
It's good because... Well, yeah, but it's good on my like on all the different sites, like different job areas. They've had like more and more cullings of like people who can work. But luckily for us, there was only 5 people working on our site anyway, and that's like the maximum. So it's pretty quiet out there for us. We don't see too many people. It's
just
kind of
you
the
guys
same
moving.
few people over. Yeah. So that might change in a couple of weeks when the factory starts actually running. But yeah, then we might have to wear like sperm suits and stuff to like do work.
That'd be pretty sick though. Just like,
can you imagine like grinding in like a plastic suit? You're just gonna like catch on fire, man. Like,
good times.
You'll melt first. It's all good. Like, it'll like get attached to your skin, and then
perfect.
That's a superhero formula as far as I'm concerned. Plastic man,
burn guy, burn victim,
strong slidey skin,
and he has the powers of workers' compensation. So.
Cushy.
Fantastic. Love it. That's a true Aussie hero right there. Don Compo. Okay, yeah, that's the last 24 hours, I guess.
What do you do?
What did I do? What did we do last night? 8 bolognese. Yeah, ate meatballs last night. This morning we got a couple massage. I got my legs done. Which was good, but it was weird. I couldn't relax the whole first half. Where like sometimes you just feel like you got like poo in your bum hole. You just feel like you got sticky bum. Like, I don't know. It's like clenching and stuff, and they're like touching my legs, and I'm like, oh, if they poke the wrong part, am I just gonna explode? Like, just poor lady, So it was really until they kind of like, and funnily enough, until they like moved my legs, which kind of spread my cheeks a little bit. Then I was like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna poo myself. Good. I can relax a little bit more now. So that was fun.
Stressful, maybe.
Stressful, then relaxing. I came out a new man. For me in many different ways.
It seems you wasted half of the massage, though.
I felt like that. I was trying to get out of my own head. It was really interesting because I'm never usually caught up in my mind, but I was like, oh my god, and I just couldn't think. Like, this is gonna get a bit visual, but I couldn't just stop like picturing poo. And that was making it worse. Like, it was really amplifying the situation in my mind.
How much is a massage in Sydney?
Well, this place is pretty good. This was $70 for 45 minutes, like full on remedial massage.
Jesus.
So like the most expensive massage form that they have.
It was like actual sports massage, not just.
Yeah. She was like, like holding the leg up and like.
Oh, the fun stuff.
Yeah.
The stuff that makes you shit yourself.
Well, yeah, that's like half my concern. And then Saturday got a Thai massage, so it was like 55 for the hour. I know, 45 minutes, 45 minutes.
Not like getting a sweet Thai massage in Thailand.
Oh, bro.
Oh, no.
Yeah, man.
$5.
And it's like way more authentic as well. Like, I really find the places here are like hit and miss.
Yeah.
Like my place that I like going, this place where they like do that contorting before they massage your legs was like booked up. So I went like down the road to the next place. Well, actually not the closest place, because that place is definitely not like a remedial, well, some sort of remedial massage, but it's not like, above board remedial, not rebate worthy remedial massage. So I went to the next place along from that, and they just did like an awful job. Like I was like, they're like, what do you want me to focus on? I'm like, legs and feet, and they literally didn't touch my feet, and I feel so bad at the end where you're like, like, thank you, and you're like,
that thing they do with your toes when they like pull it like this, that's the best.
And they didn't do it, and I was asking for special feet, man. So yeah, and then
I want to learn to do that, you know.
yeah, that pops,
exactly, like pops. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, Jarran, have you ever had that?
Yeah,
you should have it happen.
Oh, all the fucking time. I love that shit. I do it to myself now.
How?
It's easy. You just grab your. It's just like cracking your fingers.
And how do you get the angle?
For me, get in like Happy Baby, and you're like.
I think it's like popping a beer, right? Like, you know, more or less.
Please describe Happy Baby.
Happy Baby is like, get on your back and you're fucking off here, and you get. Yeah, that's what
like
you
this.
Do. Yeah, basically that.
All right.
Good access to your.
Right.
I don't understand. Yeah. Well, then I went training. I had a really good solo session for about an hour, and then Alex showed up. I had a good little combo session for like an hour, but then or about 45 minutes. But then my ankles just like started to fatigue. I did double side like 2 weeks ago. Oh no, like a week and a half ago, and just pinged my ankle on the ground real hard. So it's like it has all of its usage for about an hour, and then it starts to like wear really fast. So today was just a bit more tender than usual.
Yeah, right. Was that on sand, or how'd you bust them?
Nah, double side on grass. Opened up like I was in Spain.
Oh, lovely! I enjoyed you reposting that, man. I can't tell you how many times like Antec Max and I used to just be like,
Forgot about that. That's actually
you literally bounced.
Yeah, and then run away.
But how many people would own that shit as well? How many people are reposting their fails?
That's it. You kept going, man. As well, like how is that even possible?
I really still like couldn't tell you.
Running on adrenaline.
All I remember is like the distinct, like, you know, the ringing sensation they have in movies when someone like gets hit and they're like fighting and it's like blurry vision, but they're still moving and it's all ringing. And it's kind of like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's literally what was happening. I was just like, I was doing stuff and I was reacting like, oh no, not that. Okay, this. It was like the whole time.
Oh gosh.
Well, yeah. And then I went to Marx's and I did some writing on my book.
Sick.
Yeah.
So how far through your book are you?
I'm 12. No, I'm 13 in my book.
Oh.
So I'm actually why I couldn't put my phone down is I'm currently writing about the period of time just before my parents split up. Which was like controversial in itself because to this day, unconfirmed by my Faja, but I'm pretty sure he left my mum for my ice skating coach.
Ooh.
Which put a bit of a ripple in my ice skating enthusiasm when we moved to Sydney. Yeah.
Probably would.
So to me, it's not that deep. Like I like literally on the surface was like pretty understanding of the situation. I'm sure they had subconscious side effects that I like, you know, I'm still living through now, but at the time it wasn't me got hit really hard. It was my sister that like really copped that.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so I've written up from like when I was a baby until then, from pretty much what I can remember until then.
I'm sure there's some gripping detail in there.
I mean, there's funny shit and there's like some pretty real shit. And I mean, with the whole thing, I'm trying to be as honest and like transparent as possible. You know, I still haven't decided how much I'll nuance certain parts of life, as you can imagine, knowing me. I haven't decided how much I'll nuance that kind of sections and stuff like that. But, you know.
Well, you haven't even gotten to those sections.
No, I mean, at 12, you're not doing anything outrageous, are you?
What I would suggest,
he's just growing a fondness to Gatorade.
Yeah.
Just write the full story and then censor it out afterwards.
Well, I'll just figure out what parts to, because there's some parts I'm sure I want to elaborate on as well. That's the idea for me now, is just the process of getting it all on the page/phone, because I'm writing it on my phone, because that's where I think the most.
That's
like,
amazing that you're just writing a book on a phone.
Yeah, life.
It's great.
Technology.
It's great, man. Yeah,
technology.
No, you're on a bus. Well, why not?
Yeah, for me, it came, I think I was writing a lot of like raps when I was at Marx's house. So that's where I kind of feel like comfortable writing right now. But I've also like got a good zone here on the couch where like if we're working or watching something, I can just kind of like zone into two and just kind of keep jotting down the ideas and letting the thumbs kind of do the flow and
do what it does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice one.
Yeah, bro. So that's pretty much wraps up like my 24 hours and that sort of thing. But I think, yeah, the main thing that I was most interested in talking about is like because like we haven't experienced stage 4 lockdown here.
I haven't even experienced lockdown here. Some stores were not open when I got into Adelaide, and now everything is back to normal. Like there's nothing.
Boring time, man.
Yeah.
It's boring time.
What's training like? Because
I haven't seen any of the fellas in 3 or 4 weeks.
Not long.
For like, that must have been just before stage 4 started. So yeah, like just over 3 weeks ago. 3.5 weeks ago, probably I saw Justin last.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm just coming off, like I slammed skating on my shoulder, so I couldn't train for like a month leading up to that. So I haven't done proper jumps in like about 2 months.
It's your fault for stepping on a devil's board, isn't it? You stepped on
devil's board. Much fun. Much fun.
It is so much
I
fun.
just see it as traitorous. I'm like, no, you're spending time not doing parkour. But you already like you don't train anyway, so
I train, I dabble. I have like when this first lockdown we had, stage 3, that was the most productive I'd been in probably over 5 years, like maybe 8 years, maybe. Like realistically, legitimately, I was training every single day, just like going out, exploring spots, going for a bike ride, doing whatever, filming, posting clips. Like I don't like to do that normally. I was loving it.
Yeah, speaking, if you have more time, you could do those leisurely activities. Like holy shit! Like I am at the moment in this really good headspace of like just going out and training. You know what I mean? Just being out there. Sometimes I end up just like doing side flips and having a long format conversation with who else I'm training with. You know what I mean? Just drilling basic shit, but like going through big like politics, theory, community stuff, or even like, you know, if they've got personal things going on, talking about that sort of shit. Like it's just nice to be out in the sun and moving.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
it's the weird thing about this is like you can't see your mates. Like for training as well. Like I'd love to jump on things. I can go jump on things if I really want to. But it's hard when the people you jump with, your best mates, or like even just in general your best mates. You can't go see anyone. Like it's whack, man. It's whack. A lot more phone calls than usual now.
Yeah.
Like calling people, like even people overseas and stuff, just because like why not?
That's particularly something I found I picked up, right? Because I usually like if I'm gone, you don't hear from me, and then when I'm back, I'm like, what's up? But because I didn't get to see, like, because I was here for so long, and I started not to see those people for those intervals that I usually did, like double the time. I'm like, holy shit. Now I feel the need to reach out. Like I really want to express it. And it's also a way of like showing them that I do care about our friendship. Like before I was so like, whatever,
sure.
you know, but like if I'm reaching out and messaging you now, it's because I fucking care about you. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, I miss hanging out with you or whatever. I want to, want to talk, want to see what's happening with your life. So
sure. And I think that's pretty important at like the moment. Like it's a weird place, and a lot of people are struggling and like trying to deal with it in different ways. You know, I'm real thankful I got work. There's a lot of people who don't have work, like don't have things to keep them busy, and they still live by themselves, you know, like that kind of stuff must be so hard. So, you know, I think like actually calling people regularly and just like, you know, having chats, like
the inventor
it's great.
Zoom. The inventor of Zoom must be like laughing, man. I didn't even hear of Zoom before COVID, and now it's like everything's on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird that because it's like, does Zoom do like a whole lot more than Skype or WhatsApp or?
It's just a tiny bit better. That's it.
Right.
It's just
because it just suddenly boom.
Yeah.
Zoom. Everyone's on Zoom. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, I didn't understand because I just like everything was on Skype, but Skype was always such a bitch for me to sort out. And then was it me that told you Zoom or you just told me Zoom, Jarran? I think I had a Zoom for a business call.
Yeah.
1 week before, and then I was like, bro, we should do this because I have it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and you can call into it just like from a phone. If you don't have Zoom, you can use a web browser and just like connect into it. They just made it easy.
Pretty easy across different platforms.
Yeah. But the one thing they don't
have, accessibility.
You can't call out of it. Like, that's what Skype had. You could just call international for like a few cents instead of getting them dollars racking up.
Then, so this one's all just free. There's no. Well, you can get pro apparently.
No,
right?
I needed to get pro for this. That's why I'm always the host. Because
Otherwise, it cuts out at like 45 minutes or something. That's what happens like my family when we do it.
I see.
Yeah.
Limited amount of time.
It's like my mum lives in New Zealand, right? Can't get over here.
What's their laws like comparatively?
They're pretty chilling. They went into like another lockdown, but like when they had like your numbers, they go into like a full lockdown to like stamp them all out. But they're pretty chilling over there. But Australia's just stuffing it up. We're stuffing up the borders for Melbourne in particular. We're filthy down here.
Well, yeah, I mean, I covered this. I think it was last week. I maybe spoke. No, I don't even know if I spoke on it. But something I've heard racial comments towards Victorians, like as if Victorians are
so
not
whack,
Australians, makes no sense to me. I'm like, wait, what? Like, how are you making more division? Like, oh, you got Victorian plates. Oh, don't drive near me. Like, what?
Yeah.
Literally, you're like that. Like, that's my sister. That's my mate. You know what I mean? What are you talking about?
Yeah, Oscar moved to Adelaide just before all this started. Shout out to Oscar. And when he got there, he said like he heard people on the streets in Adelaide just like talking shit about like, oh, Victorians like not following, measures to follow. Like it's chill as fuck over there. We were always, like going by some things, but obviously there's a lot of people who haven't, like just stuffed things up. But yeah.
No, they're definitely talking about like Victorians here. Speaking of which, who is Oscar and is he in Adelaide? Oscar
is in Adelaide. Oscar Devison, also known as Oscar Pawson Champion. He's a blonde guy in OGP. From Melbourne.
So I guess he jumps on things.
He does crazy cool Tic Tacs.
He's super chill, super nice. Like, but also like when he gets riled up, he's a lot of fun.
Yeah, very fun to poke as well. Yeah. More figuratively than physically, but
whatever tickles your fancy.
Well, hit him up and
don't sugarcoat it here.
Yeah, man, he's always jumping and he's looking for more people to go out training because apparently
like everywhere else like Adelaide scene just kind of went
he's always on the hustle. He's always doing solo sessions and stuff, so you
guys should link. Oh my god, you and Jarran can link and build. Oh my god,
it'll be under Oscar Champion on Insta. That's how you can get him.
I'm sure he'll watch this and be like, oh my god, Sam said my name. Oh my god!
Fun things, Oscar. Fun things.
So yeah, the whole reason this transpired actually is because I misquoted what happened to you. I said last week to Joey that you hit your head between.
No. Even better. So Jarran, you were like, "Oh, how about Sam Carter doing a front flip arm jump and snapping both his legs?" And until this point, I've been watching it, being like, "This is sick. I'm getting to know Joey a bit more. He's already like my boy. Fucking love you, Joey." And then I was just so thrown off. It was funny as. And then you were like, no, that was Max. He dislocated his knee. He hyperextended his knees. You were kind of close. And then you said that I side flipped and clocked my head on the second wall, which I never did.
Something happened at your head.
I did a lache pre and I slipped out and I broke my kneecap and knocked myself out.
Oh, good times.
Sounds like the same thing.
But Max also did land on his head and break his head. So
that was
some people get us confused, you know.
You two are very interchangeable, except for the hair
I was
color.
thinking we should have done this together. It would have been kind of funny, you know. Like if we were in the same place, you could be under my arm and it'd be all chummy. But,
yeah. Well, I mean, we
so.
could message him now. I mean, still got half an hour left.
Well, physically, you know, like.
I know you want to hold him. You want to please him.
I miss my Max, you know.
It's like Bert without Ernie, bro. Like.
That's it. It's hard out here, man.
So yeah, because that leads me to ask, like, and this is, I feel like this is a reoccurring question I ask, but like, how did you dip from like everyday training hustle, I'm gonna make, like, you know, doing free running my career, to I'm just gonna use it as my passion and like do it when I love doing and moving towards other shit? Like, what was the process behind that?
Well, when I was, I guess, in like year 11 and 12, I would have started like just chilling out a little bit more on the training, like, you know, going to more like parties or just being a bit more less into jumps for a bit, but still in it. And then I think, well, I started architecture, and then I kind of decided that instead of being an athlete, I'd kind of like the idea of making spaces and stuff. So I studied architecture for a little bit, and I stopped doing that. And then I was always like kept training, but I had some massive injuries. Like I broke my knee, I broke an ankle once, you know, like I had a lot of stuff that set me out for a while.
What does breaking your knee mean? Did you shatter your patella? Did you?
No, so my knee didn't swell up as big as yours did at Canberra, but I broke mine. I hit my kneecap into the ground, and the corner of it kind of like cracked off. So they had to like put a pin in it. But initially they were like, you'll be in a knee brace for 20 weeks. And then you'll have real bad arthritis. Well, this is what, in hindsight, what it would have been when I got my second opinion. He was like, that's what it'll be if you're in it for 20 weeks. We'll put a pin in it and it'll take a week. A week until you can walk, or 2 weeks until you can walk, and then like. But
regaining function as opposed to putting it immobile for 20 weeks. Because I was like, 20 weeks is like excessive, man. That's half a year.
100%. And then it'll be fused though, because if you just put it in a knee brace, it'll be separated still, the 5 mil here and the 3 mil here, like the whole way through, and it's just gonna like calcify. But it's just gonna be horribly deformed. And my knee doesn't really give me much grief.
Yeah, I mean,
my ankle gives me the most grief, and that was just like my first injury from when I was dumb and I didn't, you know, look after it.
Yeah, that happens.
We know it. Except Dom, he doesn't know shit.
But yeah, man, I started designing more, and then that was also like a real physical toll. Both studying architecture, that was like one of the most intense phases of my life, just like up till 3 or 4 a.m. every night. Wouldn't work once or twice, so I wouldn't sleep once or twice a week.
Wow.
Just like pumping. And then when I started actually getting design jobs for parkour parks and things like that, especially when, like, you know, your boss, George, shout out again, is, you know, over in another country or something, and you're trying to like tee up at different times and all that kind of stuff. It can be real tricky. Or the clients are in different countries, and then you just pull slaughteringly long hours. But, you know, I don't know. I'm still very much around. You know, I've never stopped jumping.
Well, that's what I was gonna.
Like a couple months, you know.
Interject with at one point was, I don't actually think that you like, similar to Joey last week, is like doesn't actually train parkour anymore. Like he's not active whatsoever. No. But I've never considered you to actually drop off training. It's just more it went from, you know, that everyday teenage grind to a more reality based training schedule.
Yeah. And I think, like, as well, you know, you don't, like, you see what from ours going like 1 video a year or something like that, and like maybe like a little bit more than that on like Instagram. But when we're training, like we'll train like once or twice a week with like Justin and Danny, and it used to be Oscar. But now obviously no one. We're not training. But you know, but we don't really post things. We don't film much.
It's although
it would be
enjoyment side.
slowly like kind of just train and have fun, play games of stick and things like that. And then if we film a clip, also if we're going to do something that's worthy, we've got like the big camera for capstone. So we like pulled that out and we started filming, just like it'll be an hours gang project or something. But talking about doing things on your phone, I've edited this like 5-minute YouTube video on my phone over the past like 8 months. And I just need one final shot.
Did you work chronologically?
Sorry?
Did you work chronologically? Like, did you shoot like the shot you needed and then like, okay, the next shot I'm going to need is this, and then shoot it?
No, man, we got the camera and I picked this song that at the time was just like, for me, this is like where my mind was, and it just like suited what it felt like to go training and the vibe of it all. And I just started like trying to be a bit more like a fly on the wall with the camera, and I was just like cataloging, you know, my favorite clips and putting them together. And then eventually it was like, oh, we've got 2 minutes. Wow, we should actually finish this song and make this an actual video. Like instead of just being this project in the background that's never going to be anything, which happens. It
gave you kind of like a linchpin to like actually commit. You're like, okay, I'm already halfway through and I've got a whole song. So if I can just fill out this song, I've got a video. And
and very very aptly named is The Lengths is the song, and maybe the video name. So
well,
it's a bit of a length to go, but it's worth it.
I feel like to describe your training as well, it's like when I said earlier, like a more something training schedule, I was like, that does not sound like what, because when you jump, it's not like, you're not like training and it's not a schedule. It's like, you just go out and you fucking do fireball with your mates. Like it's similar, like how I would say mine's more training schedule because I do it daily. But like when I'm out there, and the best analogy I've ever heard is Phil Doyle. He said he did like some interview and the person likened his mind state of training to that of a jazz musician. Like you just go out there and you just riff.
Yeah. There's a thing in a book. There's a thing in a book. The book is called The Talent Code, I believe. And it talks about like really, really talented musicians. And when they get really talented, instead of practicing for really long hours every day, like all of their basics and all of, you know, everything they can do and like building their way up, they will practice for shorter amounts of time, but they'll just focus on their hardest things. So they'll go straight to like the most technical thing and they'll put all their energy into that because they're now experienced. They're now, you know, they're able to like go straight into it. And that becomes like the most effective way for them to, you know, kind of progress. And I guess I tried to start thinking or like adopting a similar kind of thing a few years back with training. But, you know, now I think I just kind of flow in between, like I'm kind of training, but I just do jumps that excite me.
Well, yeah, I think.
But then I get really excited for something. Like I'll get excited for like a video or for an event coming up or an event that's just happened. And then I'll just be on this buzz and I want to train. I want to get really good. And I'll remember how good I could get. You know, and then like, I want to do that when I get injured.
I think that, funnily enough, I read like a really interesting article that was written by Flynn Disney. Do you know Flynn Disney?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so he's a tracer from London.
In Australia, and I stayed with him in London.
Same. He stayed with us, Jarran, when we were living together. And it's a really articulate.
Wait, he stayed with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. I remember that actually. That was the same. I think that was the same time that we did a job, the Telstra job.
Yes.
Was I there?
Yeah, you lived with us, but I think you weren't training as much. You were stoked.
You were doing martial arts, I think, or stunts stuff.
Yeah, I would have been doing that then.
Yeah. But yeah, he wrote a really articulate article on first principle thinking, which is like, he just describes it so well, but it's kind of really applicable to how you train in your process. It's like the adaptability of the deconstruction of like an object to make it more useful in a way. So you're just going out, you're kind of just finding these things and going, how can I create an alternative to what the norm is?
Oh, yeah.
Which is first principle thinking.
Like, there's this It's like little saying, like I think I pick up lots of little like funny sayings and stuff, and I like somewhat adopt them into my thinking, and or it like solidifies things. And it's like, you know, I've done more than I've had hot dinners. So like I've done more like standing bloody cat passes, sorry, like standard cat passes, 8 foot wall to wall, than I've had hot dinners. Like I don't want to just keep doing the same boring 8 foot cat pass. I want to, oh, that's filthy, man. Like I want that. Like if it's filthy, I want it. Like,
no, I get that because I have that feeling with front flip. I've definitely done more big front flips than I've had hot dinners. And it's like now I really don't find myself excited for big front flips unless they're new and exciting in a different way, or I can just do it off the cuff. Those are the two.
Yeah. Or if it's just like, oh, I'll just pop this. Yeah.
Those are the two kind of lines of thought now, just because I'm like, it's just like, it feels excessive at this point. It feels like unnecessary.
Yeah. I feel you there.
100%. I'm going to try and send Jarran this.
Oh, good. Please do.
Jarran, link this. So we can give Flynn a little shout out on article.
What are you sending it to, though?
Should I send it to your WhatsApp? Or
you can send it to my WhatsApp.
I do it on the Zoom chat.
Well, whatever.
The Zoom chat says, what's the word on Sam?
Flynn could arguably have the quietest landings ever.
Yeah. Who do you think has quieter landings in the scene? Greg has pretty quiet landings, bro. Greg Eccles.
Yeah. But Flynn's like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or like, but Nippon used to take the cake.
Yeah.
But no one to know who that is. Yeah. But there's this old school guy in Melbourne. I'll just like rush through quickly. He's sick. His name's Nippon. If you ever saw any old Melbourne videos, he was the guy who went, my face. My face. Anyway, we were all in this like indoor car park, and he like ran up, hurdled a like, you know, waist height rail, cleared it, and then there's like an extra foot drop on the other side, and he comes down and lands, and you're all like there, like listening. It's like just like the tiniest little land, like
just has that delicate footwork on the way down and perfect dispersion of impact. That's the goal, right? That's the dream right there. Yeah. So I wanted to ask Jarran quickly.
Question for me, watch out.
Well, because your style of training when you do train is a lot more structured, is it not? Or is it still riffing?
No, I go out and I just hit things like the same thing constantly.
Mm-hmm. So it's repetition.
Yeah. Definitely. I'll be like, okay, do this, 8 foot pre, and just do it a lot. That's also because I'm not training with other people, so I'm not like finding challenges. I'll be like, all right, get a certain amount of reps in, and then maybe find something else.
Getcha. Yeah, that's why I was just curious because, you know, like, I'd say Sam's almost the opposite. It's like very much less repetition based and more like, oh, this is nasty. Boom. Okay. Oh, what's different and new and exciting? And that definitely comes from years of training.
Yeah.
I get times where I still want to like do some reps of things, but I think, and maybe it's just my personality in general as well, if I'm not doing something that feels like I'm pushing my own bracket, then I feel a bit bored. So like, the only time I've gone training in the past month, I just went and did some reverse vaults off this rail. But I really want to like learn to reverse vault like along the rail, like parallel with the rail, just like full sprint path, like, and then but be really accurate with it and stuff, so I can take drops. You know, take a big drop out of it and things like that. So that's all I did, was I just like kind of like semi warmed up, and then I just did a few reverse vaults that were like a bit ganky, and I had to like clear a bush, and they were on an angle, and that was that. And that was my session. And I was like, sweet, cool, I'm done. Great.
Nice. I wanted to ask you, or Jarran wanted to ask you as well about the bounce parks and the designing and like, so.
Yeah, let me know how'd you get into that?
I was working at Bounce which is one of the ones in Melbourne, the flagship venue. And I was the only like free runner kind of staff there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. And they had like a really basic parkour-y, like parkour setup, but it was clearly done by someone who had never done parkour in their life. And they asked me to come into a meeting just to give them like my thoughts on what they'd done. And when I went into the meeting, I just kind of like, I'd worded up George from Jump Squad. And I just went in with a few concepts that we'd done. And some like performance setups that we'd done as well, just like some printouts. And then when I was telling them about their setup, I was kind of like, this is why it's good. Here's how it could be better. And this is what we've done, and gave them the stuff. And then they were like, you've got yourself a contracting job. And then it kind of all just spiraled from there. And yeah. And then I ended up doing a bunch of just innovation design with them as well. So like not just parkour parks. So if anyone ever goes through Dubai, head over to the Dubai Festival City, because in the mall there's this bounce that I designed. It's the only venue that I like designed. I designed like the entire venue over like 14 months. And essentially the initial prompt was put bounce in a blender. So take your Ninja Warrior obstacles, your big trampolines, your little trampolines, your dodgeball, your everything, put it in a blender, spit it out. What do you get? And that was the initial prompt. So I designed like this landscape. It's like, got big hills and it's all like crazy mixed together. And obviously for us, a super mixed together thing would be amazing.
Oh wait, I can probably pull this up, by the way. So I'll do that.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So it's Bounce Festival.
I mean, I remember
there's, I don't know what their actual, there's a video on my Insta, just like a minute long clip of a bunch of the stuff there, or I don't know where there's photos of it though. They probably have like a Middle East or maybe a Dubai bounce page.
Because I remember you showing me some concepts for that. We had like a chat one time when you came to Sydney. Like, I got to run by some consultation work and like
that was sick.
Yeah,
that was for like jump up or something. I got a free trip to Sydney to like talk to you and Sean. But about also I just wanted to go to jump off, and they were like, "Oh, if you need to go see him," I was like, "Oh yes, I do. They would be very useful
in person, much better."
Much better. And I mean, it is though. Like I really dig that stuff as well. When you're like
I appreciated the like I
took you to lunch, right?
Yeah. Took us to lunch, and even just like without that, the fact that you were like privileging us with that information and coming to us for our opinion, I was like, I'm humbled by that. Like that's
those
sick for me.
Curved walls.
Yeah, lots of crazy curved walls, man.
What?
But like it's all conceptual in my head, so sometimes I've got to get people to like ground it and be like, because you stare at something for so long and you imagine it in specific ways, or you've tried not to imagine it in really specific ways sometimes. Try and leave it vague and see if it works. I don't know. Yeah.
Like let certain factors play out and maybe that'll be the,
Because, like one of my big gripes with parkour parks in general, and even a lot of the stuff that we've like kind of done, but like, I guess we haven't really done like we've never had a park that was just like, what do we want to design here? Like it's outdoors, it's a space. What would we do? It'd just be a nice space that's good for parkour. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But like
my gripe, every state in Australia.
Yeah, my gripe with standard parkour parks is again, it's just like this repetitive thing where it's like someone's thought out. Like here's going to be an 8-foot cat pass precision. Here's going to be a 6-foot yada yada, and you get this like. This now new style as well of movement that's like semi-shaped from like parkour parks, like what that allows people to do. It's like even more linear than it used to be.
Yeah. That's something that I like
shaped around these things,
I play with, but I try to avoid the trend of like the 2020 free running style, which is very like flow vault based because of the access and like the bar integration is way higher and stuff.
Yeah, I think you have to be like, when you're designing space, you've got to be smart. Like, you got to allow for that kind of stuff when there's beginners and stuff. Like, if the space is for teaching somebody, blocked out things. But yeah, I think if you can like make a space that's a bit more crazy, a bit more different, a bit like more of an experience to be in, it's, a bit more, I don't know.
Yeah.
Exciting. Interesting.
Yeah, I guess. I definitely, for me, I'm all about like, I'm old school, man. Just give me like a fucking set of four. Well, give me a wheelchair ramp any day.
That's it. You know the spots in America, the like huge fountain.
Yes.
Like the crazy. Yeah.
I've been Ohio, I believe it is, or Seattle.
Yeah.
Both right.
Which not the orange one, the huge
I was thinking
gray
the orange one.
Yeah.
The huge gray one. That, in my opinion, is essentially like, obviously it's a large, very, very large scale, but that's what parkour park should look like.
Are we talking the Modus one, or are we talking the one that like Farang went to where it's a lot more flat?
The one in Storm where Dylan Baker does that like dive cat.
Okay, so yeah, it's the Michigan water crisis.
Michigan. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
So I haven't been to that one. That one's fucking.
So in my head, that's a parkour park. That's what it should be. It's like the second evolution in my head. So you see like original skate parks are just this boring like hump and then a quarter pipe and then back. And now they're like these crazy cool like integrated spaces. I think those kinds of fountain spaces are what the next evolution of parkour parks will become.
And you know what's cool is you can actually add fountain features, and parkour people like that.
Yeah,
like we're
100%.
all about that, you know, like
100%.
low risk water challenge and like amplifying the mental factor and stuff like that. So
yeah, for sure.
No, screwed it up. Couldn't find the fountain.
You can type in Michigan Water Crisis Modus Projects, and that's like got the video from there. So at least you'll be able to flick that up on screen. That's probably the best coverage of that spot as well.
The architect who did it, he's the one who does I think all those big fountains. So that other one where George does the double side. Yeah.
That's the one I was originally thinking of. So that one's fantastic.
One's sick as well. That's amazing. Yeah, so all those kinds of spots.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're all done by the same guy. I've got like all his photos saved.
Do you catalog a lot of information around parkour, like make lists and that sort of thing?
Oh yeah, around parkour, but a lot around architecture.
Okay,
like even for Capstone, which is the thing we're launching next year. I don't know if I'll go with that or not, but
drop the name because then you have more into like people get waves about it.
This is. All right, that's all you get. Anyway, now when I see videos and there's some like sick spot or something, I'll just take a screenshot, and I'll save that somewhere, and I'll like start to build this catalog of these jumps for when we're in Europe, like this spot's got this certain aesthetic, or there's like, I get real hyped on certain spots.
That's cool. Jarran.
Yep.
Do we want to field some questions from our viewers as we wind down?
Funnily enough, there aren't that many questions.
Well, okay, let's put to the audience now.
Yeah.
Ask questions. What do you want to know? And in the interim,
watch this?
14, maybe 15.
Wow. We've got 21 at the moment.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Forward. We usually get like 1,000 after viewers.
Yeah, cool.
But for live, it's slim pickings. But I mean, we're not really trying to, cater to any mass audience.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Mostly, it's a behind the scenes of what goes on the channel, and also just getting to know us a bit better. But also, I like the fact that I can bring on yourself and catch up with you, because I didn't, we got, other than our 20-minute phone call the other day, we don't get to speak for an hour.
Yeah.
About shit. And also just like kind of, for me, it's almost like showing people characters and profiles of people in my life from training, and sharing like different.
All right, I'll share my, I think, first time I ever met you.
Oh, we should share the slap story as well.
Oh yeah. There's this old spot that doesn't exist and is, I guess, irrelevant. It was flag stuff. And there was this cool like wall run that was up a few meters, like, but you had to clear a meter gap to do it, and it was sick. And then when you came down, you'd like go to hang and you'd like 180 back down to the grass. And Dom came and Dom did the wall. And this is 10 years ago, right? Like Dom did the wall run up And then, maybe he didn't because Dom was never good. So maybe he went round and he jumped up to some other wall and he came up on top. But then he front flipped down. He front flipped from the top and he did it so well. And it was like, I remember talking to people and we were like, he's not going to last, you know, like there's no way. And here he is still front flipping off the biggest things 10 years later. So
well, I mean, thanks, man. Baby, literally, I heard that so much. I mean, I think I've almost surpassed the people that were like, oh, yeah, you're going to be done in 10 years.
100%. You would have for a bunch of them, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's definitely like...
You're an anomaly.
I don't think it is that. I think that's just like...
No, okay. No, you know how I'm saying that I take screenshots of photos and stuff? Like, sorry, I take photos of spots and screenshots and stuff. Mm-hmm. You are the main person that I send things to. Yeah. Because I just find these fat front flips and I'm like, oh, there's no one else who can do this. Dom, another one for you. Another one.
I think I have like 3 or 4 on the list right now from Melbourne already.
Yeah. Bro, that one, I swear, that...
Through the tree?
The one that I told you was on my way to work. It's like over a barbed wire fence down into another car.
Oh, yeah.
If you did that, that is the gnarliest thing ever.
You reckon?
Oh, the skaterist, rawest fucking... Oh, it's so fun. It's so gritty. Like, it's hard ground. Like,
yeah.
It's just...
I mean, I feel like unless the challenge is on, I've been so much more... like not hesitant, but like cautious or aware with doing hard ground stuff. Like I pick my battles a lot more now because
100%. You got
I can do it, but it's like I don't want to fucking hammer my body every day doing front flip concrete.
For sure, man.
So yeah, I slapped Sam a bunch, and then years later he's like, "You owe me a slap. You owe me a slap." I mean, yeah.
No. I think more accurately, what happened? Dom slapped me a bunch in like the second time I'd met him. At the National Gathering in Melbourne in who knows what, 2010 probably. And then like 6 years later or whatever, we were at lunch in Piermont. George took us out for lunch for a jump squad thing. We're sitting there with like Max and probably Antec, and I just slapped you like out of the blue. I was like, that was for like 6 years ago or something like that.
But he got my ear.
Yeah.
He
let Max do it as well. Because Max was like, oh, you used to slap me. Can I do it too? And you're like, yeah, right. So Max got all ready.
I'm always down to get slapped in the face. It's always a good, like, you know, it's a good wake up. But
I wouldn't. That old who shared it? The Nat Gat video from Sydney, and the Nat What video.
Nat What, yeah.
And I'm following you, and I'm like, oh no, was it? No, I was following Nippon around, or was I following you around? And he was hitting people in the nuts, and he goes up and hits you in the nuts, and then you like grab him or something. Oh, it's so good, man.
I think it was me. I hit Nippon thinking that was a good idea to hit him in the nuts, and he just like aped me because Nippon could take down like Big Tony. Like
Nippon's the best, man. For a little man, he could just deadweight himself. Like,
All right, I'm gonna put this out there. The best time that I've ever seen Dom get knotted was by Sheva in Santorini.
Oh my God.
Like he was on the ground in a McDonald's.
That was inappropriate, man. She hit my nuts so hard.
Yeah, right. I have seen tears in Dom's eyes once.
The kneecap, right?
Once. The kneecap, yeah. In
I thought I broke my patella.
Where was that? In the bush somewhere in New South Wales.
Somewhere in New South Wales. I really don't even remember where that bush spot was.
Yeah, Dom was sprinting and he tripped on a root. Like we were just filming this thing for the form video.
It's just a running sequence. It wasn't even parkour.
Yeah. That was a sick fun project. Thanks for that one, Race.
Yeah, that was a good time, even though it
didn't turn into a lot, but it was a sick fun project.
Yeah, I had a blast.
But yeah, Dom was sprinting through and he tripped on a root and bashed his knee into a rock. And he was just like, he was wailing on the ground. Like,
right, squealed.
Like you see Dom take all these bales and he shakes it off. When he's in that much pain, you're scared, man. You're like, what is going on? Like, but then he kept trying to do things. Do you remember trying to do that front flip into the tree or something? And everyone had to be like, Dom, dude, just like your knee can't take it, man. Like,
yeah.
It's hard when you're that hyped for something, you know?
Oh, yeah. I really wanted to make an impact on that project. I really saw that as one of those opportunities for me to like really rep really okay, my skills are going to be on par and on show with everybody else. So if I'm going to stand out, I want to like, represent, which
for sure.
But it's like, that's one of the many times I've had my friends have to like pull me down from like, okay, you've hurt yourself, stop training.
Yeah,
like,
stop. Yeah.
There's just, it's not healthy. And it's still to this day my curse. I reckon it's just overtraining. Like,
yeah, for sure. That's how I've done most of my injuries. I reckon it's been silly, but it's nice when they pay off. It's hard to find that line sometimes, right. Like when you like
wanting to go up.
Well, not even like wanting to. Like I struggle with being like, okay, I want to be a really dedicated. Like when I do get really into it, and I want to be really dedicated, and I believe I work really hard. But then you're like, do I push this another 10 attempts? Like I'm already knackered, I'm already exhausted, and I'm now starting to lose touch. But it's like now it becomes like a this weird battle where it's like the Yamakasi kind of thing is like a hard, like you've got to push, like
you need to be able to do it when you're that exhaused. Like
exactly.
You should be.
Like
if you can't,
you should
then you're
be
weak.
able to hone this. But then it's like, man, if I keep pushing, I'm not on my mind, like, man, that's how you hurt yourself. That's how you do dumb things.
Mm-hmm. I actually have for the first time seen a front that I believe I can physically do and decided that it was too dangerous to do. Like there's a front flip down the road from my house that it's three car park stories down to a roof, and it's 27-foot minimum distance across.
Oof.
And it's like, I could do it. I can see it. I can, like when I run up, like, but if I miss anything, I would die. And I mean, that's been the case with other front, but I'm just like, this is the first time where I'm like, I got nothing to prove. I don't need to do this front. Like it's literally at that stage where like, it's just so dangerous that I'm like, yeah, I'm going to call that. Like, I went up there one night and I was looking at it because I would always go up and look at it like at the top of it. I went up there one night and I was just like, nah, man, I'm never doing this. I just don't think it's
crazy
a good idea.
how like there's different, like even Joey was saying last week, how like he started to get to the point where he's just doing these big jumps and you're like, oh, that's not even parkour or whatever. And I laughed because like, Justin, man, like fucking Justin's the sickest, bro. Like he does some, crazy jumps and stuff. And again, he can be super dedicated and he does like this stuff behind closed doors and stuff, like if he needs to, like get his legs strong or whatever, he'll get his legs strong. But the way he trains is like, he just wants to do that gnarly jump. And he doesn't want to put that gnarly jump in a video if you can do that gnarly jump.
Yeah.
Like, or if you would do that gnarly jump, like that's not a part, like he wants to push that bracket, and it's a hectic thing, man. It's sick.
I find that nature with Phil as well. You train with Phil Doyle. He has that innate, like, he's so aware of what he can do that he's like, I'm going to do some like,
And I think
to me, I'm like incomprehensible.
Phil sometimes has a bit more of the physicality over the gnar, whereas I think Justin's drawn a little bit to the gnar sometimes.
Yeah, I get you.
But I think, like Phil obviously has done some of the gnarliest things ever.
It's just his mental capacity, and that's something that comes with Justin in that hunt mindset is a certain mental capacity. Like, remember when we went to the polls and he's just plyoing like 2 3 at a time, man. As his first jumps where everyone else is hitting the maybe just making it. Like
we went to, when we filmed the Does Your Mum Know You Do This video, a bunch of that video was filmed in like one night, and it was just Fraz. Fucking massive shout out to Fraz for those videos. Sickest.
I watched a few of them this morning.
Oh man, they're so good. Like even I can get hyped on them because Fraz does so much on them. So like I can like, there's so much of his brainchild as well as like ours. Yeah. But anyway, we're just driving around and Justin would just like bang these jumps, like roof gaps, sketchy tin roof gaps, man. Like anyone in the world who's real good is thinking about these jumps, if doing them at all. Like,
it's the sketch value that's also so high. Sketch. Yeah.
And we got to one of them and he wanted to just do it and plyo this next thing straight away. And I had to be like, nah, bro, like we have to check that first. Like you can't just go straight for like a roof gap plyos. Like,
not
letting you be that gnarly, Oh man.
Bad,
cracking ones.
Did we get any questions through, Jarran?
Yeah, we got the questions.
All right, hit us up.
So First one, say hello to your biggest fan, Dom, because
Hi, Zach.
it wasn't actually Zach. It was just someone.
Yeah, well
saying,
then, no, but they were telling me to say hi to Zach because obviously Zach is my biggest fan.
Lolzor. All right.
Unless your Instagram handle is bigger fan of Domtomato, then
All right, you're not
that dedicated.
You're gonna need to like translate this one for me because I have no idea. Dom, why did RBAOM get transferred to
Red Bull Out of Motion.
Oh. Yeah, I know that. Why wouldn't they just call it AOM? Like, what the fuck?
Because Red Bull Out of Motion is actually the official title for that, and it should be addressed as such, Jarran.
Oh, well, sorry.
I was with Red Bull AOM, so that's right.
Yeah, that's it.
I didn't shut up.
Yeah, say the full word. Don't fucking. I believe just because it wore its time in Santorini, like both for judges, competitors, and also like community of Santorini, I think they were like really enjoyed it, but then it got to a stage where like 200 freerunners are coming and they weren't actually really respecting the locals of the other towns.
Everyone was just jumping.
Everyone's just like, it's the whole spot, right? And then like would be really annoyed when people would come out and yell at them for being on their roof, but it's like these are like single layer concrete roofs and it's just like thump 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 thump. It's probably shaking inside these people's houses. So I think it just wore thin in all
well, like as an audience member as well, you couldn't actually get that many people to actually watch this.
Oh yeah.
Like
Matera had a way better viewing area.
That was pretty cool. It was like a fucking coliseum, almost. Like I saw it as just a gypsy thieves convention. Just had all the main representatives of the gypsy colonies, also known as freerunners and parkour guys. Hey.
Hey.
But Matera's sick. I hope they do it there again.
Nah, do it in Mexico, bro. Just because I haven't been to Mexico.
Though. Matera's so dangerous.
It was pretty crumbly. How much shit did they break there?
3.
A lot. How many people?
They did.
How many people did they break?
Like Titarenko.
Oh man,
that sucks because he would have.
Man,
really
the guy who fell down that like gap that like 20 people hit in one day, gnarly gap. That was such a sick gap. But then so many people fell down it.
Well, because it's like people there that just like.
But you've got like Hendo and stuff hitting it, and then like the next guy's hitting it, and then the next guy's hitting it, and now they're like, oh, I'm kind of like those guys. But
that's
there's 5 chains of it going down, like. The guys at the 6th chain, they shouldn't be jumping that, man.
That's right. There's like certain people who kind of, and like it is because I come from this lineage, but it's like there's certain people whose confidence actually outweighs their skill.
Yeah.
And if you're doing dangerous shit before you switch that transition, you're going to be in trouble, man. Like that's one of the reasons, like I've always had that, but I trained out of it pretty quickly. It was like, especially when I came to the community, it was kind of like, okay, you got to know your shit a lot more. And like, you also to be strong to be useful. So I suddenly became physically able because I did all of the rigorous conditioning that I no longer do.
Well, it's a whole bunch of hype.
I think you do the no, like the send, but like you know what's going to happen when you send like, I've talked to you about this before because I feel like I have a slightly diluted version of like what you have. But it's like when we went and hit that gap at the Herald Sun, and went back to run up. I don't think I even stopped before I went for it because it was just like, okay. And, that's how I'm sending it, but didn't feel risky, like still
I think
in.
that's kind of how like, and this sometimes I come up with this when I'm training with Kidori, he gets stuck in his head a little bit. It's like, if you don't go over that initial hump, you're going to get caught in your brain. You know what I mean? And there's this little
that's a dangerous place to be if you've got high consequences going around.
Yeah. So you need to know 100% of like your ability. And as like you were kind of touching on, it's like to hit it no matter what happens on the other side. So I'm like, okay. And that's, I think it just comes from fucking failing enough.
If you're feeling it though.
You have to, but it has to be on the day. You can't force it.
Yeah. That's got to be the first thing when you're like, no, I feel it. So I'm just following this feeling. Oh, I'm going back. Oh, I'm running. I'm following the feeling. Go.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, yeah, like that's what I was training with Jason and I was compliment his like mental adequacy because if he knows he can do something, he can do it anywhere. He can do it on the floor or 50 stories up.
Man, that simple clip of him jumping over the glass rail onto the red thing going out.
Oh, Jesus.
And he just jumps up and just taps it with his foot and goes over and it's like, wow, confidence.
Yes. It's
serious confidence.
There's no overbalance, underbalance as well. Like it's the straight confidence, which means the execution is there.
Just does it like you would on the ground. You're like, I don't know if I do that. I want to think I would, but I don't know if I would.
If I was there, I don't know if I would.
Yeah,
I've done like one of the sketchiest fronts I did, like from top of building down to like a balcony in one of the videos was because I stood out there and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. And Jesse goes, like from the other side of the building, he's like, if you don't do it, I'm gonna do it. And I was like, all right. It's like he can't take this one. He can definitely do it.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next question?
What is the next question, Jarran Zen?
Oh, where are we?
I'm in Sydney.
What's your view on
Melbourne?
Oh no, wait. What's the most he thinks he can be doing in parkour? I mean age. So basically, how old do you think you can do parkour until?
Indefinitely.
Yeah.
I don't believe I
can.
I don't believe I can do the same shit indefinitely. Like, I don't think you'll be seeing me do. I believe you'll still be seeing me do big front flips when I'm 50, 100%, because the technique is so dialed that they're not taxing on the body. They actually require like less joint loading than pretty much anything I do. But like the big gaps and the heavy impacts, that will slowly dry up, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
Like without padding. Yeah, but with padding, it's fine. Even when my joints like I just mean like the amount of like heavy concrete, just unnecessary.
Yeah,
drops.
I feel like when you're older, you'll still be front flipping onto sand.
Yes, 100%.
You know, like and that'd be cool and that'd be chill. And then you have like some of the old school guys who now just train to keep that longevity going.
Yeah,
they're not doing that heavy impact stuff. You know, it's much more just movement and like staying in touch and staying on top and.
But alternatively, there also is this guy Bo. I can never remember his last name. Bo from London. He's like 50, and he trains like me, like essentially. No, you're not as intensely, but he does. He does math.
He's
a bit sketch, but he's sick. He's got some.
But what I'm saying is like he hits the impacts and he hits the loading stuff pretty heavily in his training, but he's got the physicality to maintain it. And
how long has he been training for?
Now almost 8 years, 9 years.
Yeah, right. And he's that age.
And he's
what we're talking about is doing 40 years to get to that age.
I inherently believe
your body on concrete.
Yeah, I inherently believe the human body gets stronger and it adapts to it. I don't think that you have to weaken. I think that if you stop, you will weaken. But I think if you do it for 40 years, you'll actually be at an incredible stage of physicality at that end of 40 years because your body's so used to doing it, so trained in doing it. So it's the best it could potentially be at it. And your muscles have learnt how to like adapt and recover and like be stronger. Because I think the body just gets stronger.
I think you're 100% like onto something, but I think there's a point. Like, because I think that's 65. like that's when I look at you.
I'll just stop at 6. I'll just be like,
oh god. But like, yeah, I don't know, like, because I think for you as well, like, it's like you do these huge front flips, like you did ice skating, you've done all these things that is gonna make like your joints and everything, they're gonna compact, they're gonna get stronger, or like whatever. Just like Muay Thai people kicking trees and calcifying their shins and things like that. Like things are gonna get stronger.
That's my principle.
But I think there's a point where your body still goes, "Oi, arthritis is still a thing." But like,
all right. What about
still
this?
Comes knocking or whatever.
What about
and you got
this?
Like, I don't know, man.
Jarran's got my solutions, bro. We've discussed this.
The advent of biomedical engineering.
Medicines from the Amazon.
No, fuck that. Like literally resurfacing joints and that kind of thing. Do you think that? Then
that'd be wild.
You think
like the people from Avatar?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Fiberglass bones.
They have fiberglass bones
in Avatar, like
I never saw Avatar.
The movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about the show, the cartoon? That's good.
I did watch the cartoon.
Both those are good.
Yeah,
another terminology I learned today was an autotelic personality, which is someone who usually works for themselves, like unashamedly, and is more in the now and the present than working on a specific thing for the future.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Autotelic. Look it up.
Autotelic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to.
Dom's learned for today. I learned it from the Flint Disney article. It was like a subheading where you could click out and read more. I got a bit nerdy today. It was good.
Yeah, well that fully makes sense. I never have seen that word before. Just like having an end or purpose in itself. Mm-hmm. You jump because you jump. You make music because you make music. That kind of shit.
Yeah, doing stuff because you just do it with no kind of, what's the word, intrinsic end? No intrinsic follow through value.
It would be external value.
External value for the sense, like doing something for the sense of doing it.
I'd love to get there one day.
Born to Run, sick kind of touches on that idea with running.
Okay, yeah.
Along with some other really cool things. There's also, he does an audiobook where he actually reads it, which is sick because
I think I might hit that because for me, like I can walk or train and listen to an audiobook quite well.
Oh, dude, big recommendation on that one.
Audiobooks.
Born to Run.
Audiobooks are sick.
Born to Run, yeah, for sure, man. And it's got like a lot of cool stories and interesting facts in it and stuff. Yeah.
Heavy recommendations for our listeners out there.
All right, let's move on.
Haven't listened to it for a while, but yeah. Yeah, questions.
Little bit of a touchy subject. What's your view on Ultimate Tag?
I think it's sick. I'm gonna try and participate in the Australian version.
I think one way that you can actually look at it is like, if you think Ninja Warrior versus Tough Mudder.
I like to for me, it's Gladiator without the the tackling.
It really is. But what you've got in that whole thing is that you have this showy, like, kind of advertising. I think it could work hand in hand with World Chase Tag. I think it could actually big up World Chase Tag.
But the problem, like, I'm not out to dampen anyone's bread, and I've spoken to Dom about this. I have my views, and they're different to Dom's. They're probably different to yours. But like, they're not. That's the problem.
Yes.
It's like.
Oh, they're fucking.
Yeah, sure. They could big up World Chase Tag.
Oh no, they're not going to. I mean,
that's the thing is we could
grow.
Well, hopefully we can see with the Australian market if they're like more willing to reference it in their usage and that sort of thing. Like, my hope would be that they would want to again, show that that's like what happens. In my mind, it's like that's what the professional taggers would be training for or come from. Is the would train to work towards those events because that's the world sporting version of this gimmicky TV version. But we'll just see how that all plays out with, there's a different set of people running it here. So hopefully, hopefully they're more considerate.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be interesting for sure.
I mean, it's not like I know how much weight or influence I'd even have on something if I was to be involved. So just have to play it by ear. And for me, I'd be more just looking to get on TV and do parkour. That's always like the base promo of it. Well, I mean,
it's a sick premise at the end of the day. If people just want to jump for no matter what reason, then man, my whole like mantra, I guess, mission statement for a long time with parkour has been: if I can get somebody involved in it or aware of it, and it can help them just an iota of the amount that it's helped me, then that's my mission. Right. So I'm trying to get as many people in the world aware of what parkour is, and through promoting it in my way, I'm promoting it in the right sense of pursue it for the passionate reasons. Yeah. Do that sort of thing. That's I'm a stickler for principle. I'm that annoying guy who tries to prove a point. So yeah,
I've definitely never been a stickler, bro.
But it was really cool though, man, because I put up that post where I like showed the emails that I sent back to the Ultimate Tag guys, just kind of telling them that I wasn't going to do it. And the World Chase guys hit me up and they were like, pretty much like big up, like, thank you so much. Like, can't tell you how much this support means. And like that started a conversation for us, and like we weren't in contact before that, so that's really
fantastic.
Cool.
I mean, I think World Chase Tag's fucking awesome.
Oh, it's the sickest thing. Like, it's such a cool thing. Yeah.
Like my whole thing that I love about all of these avenues is applicable use to your training. When the fuck do we get as parkour athletes to actually apply all of the skills that we've cultivated over the years to some sort of specific means? Like,
I really enjoy that the public views it differently as well. Like, I don't know how they'll view Ultimate Tag. It depends how much they make it a gimmick or not. Like,
cool, how much they make the theatrics involved, and how much they make it more of a. I mean, the Australian market itself does look less like there is less appeal for a theatric version and more appeal for a sportsman America, or like a championship. Like market. That's what I think. Even the Ninja Warrior one, they dialed down the character. The only thing for the Ultimate Tag Fox is that Banshee character. Oh my god, man. Dude.
Why, like,
does she just scream the whole time? Is she a tracer? No. They just got her on because she screamed.
Well, I mean, if you look at the tagger list, it's not actually packed out with parkour people. Their pro tagger list is a bunch of people who do movement. So
it's like Sydney Olsen and
Jesse LaFleur. That's their like heavy line parkour people. Tavon, he's their like heavy line parkour people. And then they have people like the Iron Giantress, who's like a bodybuilder. The horse, who's like a stuntman. And at first I was like, kind of like, why don't they just have all like sick people? But I realized it creates good television. If you've got some catchers who aren't actually that good, like I'm here talking about it because it's funny, because it was good television at the end of the day. They
like, do the bodybuilders move fast? What?
Well, there's one where the horse chased people around for like 3 minutes and like didn't catch anybody, but he has no parkour training. So for me, it was just funny. You know what I mean? It was entertaining.
Whereas World Chase Tag,
it's professionals.
And that's the cool thing as well. Like
that's more engaging. It's more engaging for those who actually have any knowledge in the industry, right?
Well, I've also found like guys from like I hang out with like a lot of skaters, and I'm not that good at skating, but a lot of my mates are skaters.
Mm-hmm.
And like hanging out with some of them, and like they'll see videos of this, and they'll still like like a bit of World Chase Tag or something, and I still find that cool. Like they still see that and they're like, oh, that's sick.
Well, I would love like one day, like the World Chase Tag guys envision, is to like have those international sporting teams, almost like soccer teams, that you have your pick card players that you're behind, and you've got like and people are trying to like imagine there was like fucking finance in it, and then people were trying to play like contract players for World Chase Tag and stuff like that. It'd be awesome, because that was so much ripe opportunity for like people in our industry and people who just train parkour and movement to like actually do like a sport. Because I know a lot of these guys who do come up nowadays do kind of want this, like a lot of them follow football, follow rugby, follow different sports, and they want that team thing within our industry. So there's a market for it there.
It would, like, I think my preference would still be that it became more like a skating thing that has brands that support projects.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I've always been down the like skater parkour.
Exactly.
That's. Hey, look at how I train, dude.
Yeah, 100%. Like giving people like the ability to give someone like a sponsorship, or not even like not. I hate the word like sponsorship, because it's so
me too.
Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. But it's like
to like help and support athletes to do
athlete opportunity. I think that's a great way to put it. And that's definitely what I would say Red Bull like offers 100%. And that's why I'm super thankful to be with them, is because they offer athlete opportunity. It's like they give you a salary to be an athlete, but then they also provide you with like incentives, ways for you to like meet other brands, ways for you to like do projects like that you would never have the access to do yourself. And that's where it is like athlete opportunity. Because
that's where you're like, oh, that's why this brand is sick, because it's creating something that otherwise wouldn't exist for all of us and for these individuals involved.
And the first echoes of that,
because I still enjoy whatever you get to do.
Yeah. And it's like the first echoes of that. I
like when you film a hectic, like when you jumped out of Sorry, yeah, sorry.
No, I was gonna say.
I think there's a delay going on here.
Yeah. But Ish used to do that with Novel Ways and try to offer opportunity where he could. And then Apes also did the same, where they were the first ones to kind of offer me like full athlete opportunity of like, here, we basically pay your rent and you can make
Sick.
a name for yourself doing parkour. And it's really like one of those things that I would love to see more of in the industry. You know what I mean? Like avenues for people to just make enough to make a living so they can pursue higher aspirations of the sport.
Yeah, so they can keep doing what they do, which is the sport. You know, like that's it. Like you can be like a skate bum and you can, you know, like never become, or like you can just skate, or you can be like a pro skater. And there should be those kind of tiers in parkour as well. You know?
On the flip side of that, I think we also need to see more sustainability and delivery from athletes, though. That's a big reason is a lot of brands or a lot of people that have come in and disappeared is because they sponsor these athletes and then these athletes just get flippant and like, oh, well, I'm getting paid.
But no. But it's going to be, I think it's got
to be a balance.
I think it's going to be like a cyclical thing. Because you got people like Ed Scott is the perfect example, I think, and like Harrison, Fernandez, like proper athliets, proper athletes, dedicated athletes coming into this sport, and as the what did you say, athlete opportunities, as they raise for these people, it's just like skating as well. Like if you watch any of the street league or anything like that and you hear the commentators talking about it, a lot of the skaters now, they're these like built people, they're athletes, you know, they follow these like regimes if they're going to be like a crazy pro, you know, and there's still people who send hard. They'll still always be there, the Jaws or the Domtomato, you know. But like this, you know, I think we'll have more and more room for proper athletes in that term, not just
100%. Like I don't even see myself as one of those, like you said, I'm more like a Jaws, where it's like I'm not going out winning any competitions. I'm just bringing attention to the sport, and that's always been my guys, attention whore. It's like look at me, and then look at parkour because of me.
I always like the thinking that I can do some world-class jumps, but I can't like run with the boys, you know, like I'm not a fit enough athlete to be doing something of that scale every day. I think unless you treat your body like those guys do, just, you know, like Brody Pawson, Dylan Pawson, man, like those boys, poor.
Testify.
Good on them. Every day, man, on the lifts, getting better and better.
That's where I don't think they're going to diminish any. Like people like, you know, you're talking about how long can you do it? They're going to be doing it forever, bro, because they're doing it right.
I cannot wait. We are going to, I can't wait. We're going to travel. We're going to do some things. It's going to be fun, people. It's going to be fun.
Get out of solidarity.
Oh my God.
Jarran, anything else before we wind down?
No, I think we're good.
All right.
I think we're good.
All right, people, thank you for tuning in. If you tuned in live, if you watched the whole thing and listened all the way through, bonus round, here's my nipples. That's pretty much it. Sam, thank you so much for conversing with us.
It's been sweet.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys. Catch you next week. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.